Morning. I'd just like to start off by thanking everybody for the lovely comments regarding John in my last video. So I really do appreciate all that. So I just wanted to say thank you very much. I've done a couple of things without filming, but in relation from my last video, but I'm gonna start doing some bits of filming again just to start to wind things up, you know what I mean. Right, so I made some boxing in. That was where I had that leak, and I just made that out of a decor panel which I had left. It just tidies it up and it looks okay here, and it doesn't actually look like a boxing in because it's substantial. It was just difficult to get up there and patch it all in and make it look decent as well without it looking like a patch. So I've done that. I'm going to see how it grows on me, and then if I don't like it or think I'll take it out and patch it up. So I'm just getting ready to tile my splashback in. I've got some nice glass reflective tiles. I think they look nice. But what I did when I painted this, before I put all the kitchen in, I just painted from the top to the bottom, and I want to take the paint off where I'm going to tile. So I've just tried a bit there with my multi-tool and it works okay. So I'm going to just take the paint off with my multi-tool. And because they're glass, well, they're classed as silver gloss, they all come in their own little bubble wrap bags. I remember buying this tile cutter. I was 20 and I'm 60 in January, so it's nearly 40 years old. And at the time, this Ruby, yes, they were the bee's knees at the time. But a lot of years, it's done some tiling many years ago. Used to clamp that onto them rails. Those were old saws. I just had a couple for different pipes. Nowadays it's all bloody proper drills. See if it cuts glass okay. Oh, beautifully. Alright, I've got my adhesive on that back bit. I'm not sticking them in there because these tiles have got a wavy edge, and I'd much rather be able to just, you can see there, look how much lower that edge is, but if I just slide it along I can lift it up a little touch. These ones are just some cuts. You've got to be careful because the glass. I just had to take a couple of mil off. On my worktops did work nicely before. But they're hard to take them all out, all my units out. They never go back the same, do they? This tile trim I'm using, it's metal, it's brushed aluminium. When you cut them, you just want to make sure, this is 1000 grade. I've already sanded it, but just make sure you take off any rough edges so you don't cut your hands. So the top of my tiles are all solid bedded. So I'll just pop that nicely in. These tiles, they don't have a flat edge, they're all bumpy, but I just want to just make sure I'm happy with it. I know it's not going to be perfect because with the tiles being bumpy, some bits of the tiles are in and some are out, but it's how it is. Well, I'm pleased with them. You just add such a lot of interest because of the changing colours and reflections. That brushed aluminium trim looks nice. You know, it'll all tie in with the sink. And then I got some colour throughout as well, sterling silver. Well, I'm doing multiple jobs all at once. I ordered some fencing. No, I ordered some timber to make some fencing to go around or to screen off the heat pump fan, and to make a gate for down there and a couple of other bits, and I thought, well, I might as well do this job, fit this one in while I'm on with it. So this line of posts there used to come down to here, and there's only one left there, or one in that ivy, and there was a series of them down here and timbers across. But in all the storms we had a couple of years ago, I lost them because there was all plants growing up these and the wind just took everything. So I thought, I'm gonna take all this down and rebuild it, but different. But I want to rebuild it so I can get all the bird boxes back on, because I used to get, you know, a couple of families of little tits nesting in them, and it were lovely every year. I've just started stripping. There was all chicken wire up here because we had all clematis growing up them. So I've just been stripping all that off this morning. It's only rotten at the bottom, so I'm gonna cut that off and let's have a look. But I think I'm gonna get my big boy out and have a little play. Look, big boy. Just look at that, absolutely solid. what I don't want to do is try to lose the ivy. So I've been through the middle, I've cut the chicken wire out a band so I can saw through there. Probably have to put a prop in. I want to get rid of all this top. Struggling to film because of my battery, but I've ordered a new battery. When you're taking anything down, you can't beat a thing called separation. So I've just cut, I've separated all the ivy, separated all the chicken wire, just sawn through there, so now I can lift all that top off, get it down to the floor and then deal with it. So what I'm going to do here is build a screen across the front and across the side to hide this air source heat pump fan. I've got a minimum distance of anything been in front of that fan of 1 metre, which I've got here. So I'm going to build a screen. This is the back of the screen, the front's tidier. So it's going to match that from the back. And from the garden side it'll look like that. So I'm just setting my first post, and because it's not always easy to hold things on your own and do stuff, I've just put a couple of braces on and I've got them clamped, you can see. So it's nearly there, look, it's just a smidge. And just a smidge that way. But it'll give me the chance to get some concrete round there and then just level it up on my own. You know, do the final touches. So I've got that topped off. Not bad there. Not bad there. I'm just going to wash that residue off the bottom of the post. Right, so I've cut my wood. So that's for a frame, and a gate. So I've ripped the 4x2 down the middle, made my 4x2, me 72mm, and I've got my 4x2. And I've now set my saw to cut my chamfers. So I'm just gonna get all them cut. So that's all my chamfers cut on everything. If I did want to make it a bit more elegant, which I'm going to do on some I build up there, I'd have got my little trimmer and I'd have taken all the hard corners off, but I'm not going to do that here, but I'm going to do that on something else. So I'm just going to make my frame up for one of the screens, but these trestles are so handy because my drive's on a slope. I can alter the length of the legs, so I can level everything up. And then I've painted these red because they slot nicely into them slots on the top. It just gives me a lovely working area. Right, so I've put my cut edges so they won't be seen. That'll be against a post. That'll have a capping on it. And that'll be underneath facing the ground. So all what you'll see is the machined edges. So I've clamped these up just to hold it. Right, so I'm just going to square it up. Because I want my screws to be sitting off somewhere square. Yeah, see that? It's not too bad, is it? Yeah. So right, now I'm going to go cut my cladding for this frame. I want a few at 1.10 m. So I've just clamped myself a piece of wood on as a stop. So now they'll all be 1.10 m. So what I've done, I've just gone and worked my way across to see where the boards work. And if I start with a full board, yeah, if I start with a full board, I overhang here 50 mil. So I'm just going to trim off 25 mil off a board. It's just so that when I see from the front, I'll have a joint, you know, the same here, the same measurement as I have this side. It just makes the panel look central. I've clamped that piece of wood on so that when I'm putting these on, it acts as a stop and I get all the top of them all nice and level, and so all the bottom will all be nice and level. Right, so I've nailed my first one on, made sure I'm square. I checked it at the top as well. And one thing I think which makes a difference is your fixings. You know, if all your fixings are nice. Now other people, I think this is too anal, which is fine, but I like to do it, and I'll show you why in a second. So all my nails will be to that corner of that square, but I'm not going to nail where the tongue is first. I'm going to put them all on, because if I fasten that down now, it can hinder you getting the next one on. So I'll nail all the ones nearest the tongues once I've got all the boards on. Let me just show you why I like my fixings. I'll just show you what a difference it makes. Take you around to this other fence. Just look how nice it looks, look. You know, all same at the bottom, look, all nice. And once you get going, it takes no time at all. It's not like you're putting in millions, but it just elevates it and it makes it look lovely. Right, so I'm going to get these boards on. These are a lovely thing to have as well, dead blow hammers. They don't mark your wood and they're just so lovely to use. Like I say, I know there'll be a load of people who'll say, you know something, we couldn't be arsed. But I enjoy it. That's what I meant about not nailing that nail yet. If you look, they're all missing. I'll put them in once I've worked my way along. There. Oh, got that size to the joint there. Same there. Just centralises it up, and I did that setting out in the beginning. And this is the bottom. So I've got that in. I've got the tops to cut off and caps to go on. Well, that doesn't look too bad, does it? You get airflow underneath. I will get air through there, and it's to screen the air source heat pump. I do have a minimum distance of 1 metre in the manual, which is what I've got there. I'm just going to make another screen now for that side. I wanted to get it in because I've got the commissioning bloke coming to commission it all, and what I'd rather he sees it and commissions it with it there, so that if he has to change anything or alter any settings, he can do. You know, he then don't come, I put a screen up and then it doesn't work efficient. So yeah, I think that looks well. Not too bad. Same with that one. I feel tired. So I've put the caps on top of the posts. It's just tidied it up. I need to get rid of that pipe. I don't need that now, so I'm going to cut that down into the ground and cap it off. All these pipes need insulating, but that'll be done once commissioning's done. And I'm going to get these off the wall, because that's not my wall. I'm going to concrete in a couple of posts and move them so that they're not on the neighbour's wall. There's a tree stump there, so I'm going to dig all this ground out, put a membrane down and gravel it, but I'll still have that stump there. And then at the front I'm just going to have some water, so I'll have some plants tumbling over, so I think it's smartened. I think it's smartened all that corner up and hidden the fan, even hidden the fan. So I'm gonna go find another project to do now, and I'm gonna end this video off here. So thank you very much everybody for watching once again.